This is all about using Bridge and Photoshop to kind of handshake with each other and make a contact sheet. So what I've already done here is I've opened some images in Bridge. This is some of the stuff that I shot last Wednesday, and I rated some of them as 5-star, and I've only selected those that were rated 5 stars to make the contact sheet. So maybe what I'll do is, let me select 1 or 2 more. This one here. Okay. So I'll do Command Shift. Now, I didn't batch rename this now. I could batch rename what's selected. In order to do it, and it'll skip over everything else other than what's selected. So watch. If I go up to View, Tools, Batch Rename, I'm going to leave it at Essex House with an underscore, and I'm going to start back at 1. Okay, and I don't need 3 digits, I'll just do 2. And down here it shows the difference right here. Okay, so I'll do Rename. And you see this time what it did was it raised this up, and I've got the 7 images now that I want to print. The important thing is, whatever the rating, you have to have the images selected that you want to make the contact sheet from. I could do Command All if I wanted to make a contact sheet which would fill a couple of pages with these images. But you have to select what you want to contact sheet. Okay? So we've got this, and I will now go up to Tools in Bridge and slide on over to Photoshop, Contact Sheet 2. Okay? And you can see it confirms that you have 7 files selected as source images, and it's asking you what size your document is. So I'm going to do our standard 8 by 10 by 180, and we'll flatten all layers. It takes much less time. It'll take a little bit more time to process, but not nearly as much time to print. All right, and then we have options to set up our columns. So I'm saying give me 2 columns and 6 rows. Now we'll run out of images before we get to 6 rows, but that's okay. All right, so practice a little bit with this. Use auto spacing. This is depending on how you want your captions labeled, which font and so forth. And you have to do some looking here. And when you're ready to go, just click OK. And it's going to seem like nothing is happening because this takes a while. It has to look at all those images, resize them, and so forth. So if you see your machine hanging like this, it does not mean that you're doing something wrong. And on the video, I'll cut a lot of this out because it's just wasted time. Okay, so there we have it. All right. So I can now do File, Save As, and I'll just go over here and say Essex House, Contact Sheet, and I'll save it back to the folder where it came from. I can do it as a TIFF, I can do it as a JPEG. In fact, let's do it as a JPEG. Okay, and it's going to want to know what file size I want, so I'll leave it at like a high quality setting, and I'll click OK, and it'll be saved. So if we travel on over to Bridge after doing this, you'll see that right after that last selected image we have our contact sheet. And it has all the settings in it that we asked for, so I can bring this up in Photoshop, and we can, enlarge to see what it really looks like. Whoops. All numbered and so forth, and that's pretty much the story.